TGIF Warriors. How's everyone doing? Forex Gal sent me an article that Egypt has outlawed using the dollar to try and boost their currency. So another little nail of de-dollarization. Rajvendra, welcome to F.A.C.E. Alexander, how are you? AJ, what's the topic?
TGIF, coach. I'm tired.
Yeah, my migraines are back.
Oh,
It
shoot.
was like the trade looked good for a day or so.
You know what?
Mong, what?
I'm gonna say this, and I know this isn't a health thing. My in-law grandmother,
Right. Yeah.
my wife's she's the
Right.
the mother of holistic medicine. For those of you that don't know, she's Dr. Gladys McGarry. She's 103 years old, public speaker, world renowned, she literally came up with the name holistic. Her cure for everything, and I'm just telling you this personally, but everybody's obviously listening right now. Her cure for everything is castor oil. It literally is castor oil. If
Huh.
it's kind of
I'll try
like,
it.
yeah, I would, wherever your head hurts, grab some castor oil, some organic castor oil, put it on your head, and see how that works. I mean, it seriously cures everything. So just so
Okay.
you all
So
know, it's just
you
one of
don't
those.
ingest it, you just use it topically.
Yes, correct. No,
Okay.
don't go drinking
Because
castor oil.
all the old cartoons used to show kids crying before their parents would give them castor oil in the old days.
Just
Anyway,
might be worth just okay. But
every look.
anyway, I know
I'm
we need to get to
desperate.
the markets. I just need to
All
throw
right.
that out there as my
Oh,
friend.
look, Nick says it's great for um,
Takes down swelling. It's great for
hangovers.
hangovers.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
an
it
anti-inflammatory.
it is. It is
Okay.
really. And it's like literally a cure all. Like you got cancer, put castor oil on it. You'll feel better. That's
Okay.
that she's really in that camp. And she's 103 and the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. So there you go.
103 is amazing in itself.
Yeah.
So, you know what I heard, and I mean it's good for everyone, especially if you're a trader.
And it's
They,
Friday and hell, we're at all-time highs. Why not? Go
yeah.
ahead.
So anyway, they did a study on people that lived to be over 100 to
Uh,
see what they had in common, and it wasn't food, it wasn't exercise. So what it was all of them had the
day traded.
ability.
Day traded.
They were all day traders, but they all had the same ability to let go of things when they went wrong and just move on and not dwell.
Oh, people that get all cut up and shit. It's like life
Yeah,
is too short. Here's the thing, and and I 100% agree with that. Here's the thing. When your day of reckoning comes, which it will come, you're not going to sit there that day looking up thinking, damn, I wish I was more hateful, or I really wish I was more this, or that. You're going to say, I wish I would have spent more time smiling and being with the people
yeah.
that I love, and loving
Amen,
life
right.
and enjoying life. I mean, that's why when people get hung up on shit and
Yeah,
they stew, it's like, dude, you're going to die an early death.
yeah,
Good luck. Just go with it. Go with the flow. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
But
I'm
that's
going to get off
great.
my soapbox now,
Look,
but
you know what?
yeah.
We're a community, and
Yep.
it's
And
not all just about your P&L in the
no, but
community.
and
So,
and bad things happen when you're trading. They just do. I mean,
yeah,
and you got to roll with the punches. It's trading is that. I mean, you're like you get hit. You take a loss. You take a step back and you go, okay, what did I do wrong? All
next,
right, let's not do that again.
next.
You know.
Yeah. So
So
here we are flirting with 80 in Dixie. Um, Euro's coming off. I don't know. Tough call in the dollar now. I'm beating myself up because I didn't short at 105. Anyway, I'm
But
kidding.
here's the other thing, Dale, and I'm gonna say this, and I know we want to bring in K-Man and Ryan, and I
Yeah,
want to talk about these all-time highs where we currently sit.
go ahead. You know what? Grab them.
No, I want to talk about the dollar though. Um, isn't it holding up really, really well
Considering
as the S&P is near 5,100? Think
yeah,
about that. Like
even
I,
even
I've
more
been
than
I've
that.
been I've been buying the Aussie literally the last month. I haven't. I'm just saying I've been buying the Aussie for the last month, and this is all I got is frustration, you know. Or I've been selling dollars, buying euros, trying to capture this risk on. I I'm going nowhere. I mean, that's anybody who's shorting the dollar is probably really, really frustrated right now. I mean,
Yeah.
in all actuality. So
Well,
anyway.
yields look like they might be trying to turn. So that could be part of the story. Just what the market needs right now is lower yields and a weaker dollar.
Yeah, why not?
To add enough.
Let's go see S&P 5,300 today. Why not?
Yeah. So anyway, TGIF, I don't think, I can't short it yet either.
Yeah,
But I don't think we have a very nice looking week.
yeah.
And down week. Okay. And gold still tough, good, decent week. Silver, not as much. Silver has an ugly week. Gold silver ratio still looks like it wants to blow higher. You have gold stocks. Newmont was a little bit of a special situation because they cut their dividend. But look at these miners. It looks like they're all going out of business except for a couple of them. So,
Hopefully they don't follow the way of the corn.
corn and beans, yeah,
Oh my God.
agricultural,
I mean, it's crazy, right?
yeah. Bitcoin a little lower today. Um, God, actually a down week if we finish like this. Anyway, let's bring Ryan in. So Ryan, you're still long some of these S&Ps, aren't you?
Yeah, still long some of these S&Ps, and I'm one of the frustrated dollar sellers, as Blake
Okay.
mentioned.
Well,
But
I don't
yeah,
know. You bought Euro pretty good at 107.
yeah, I want to see more upside. Well, we always want to
Oh,
see more
that's what you're
upside when we're in a
frustrated.
trade, but
Well, someone who's short from 107 is more frustrated than you.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So see, even when things are working, that's what I'm talking about. Trading so psychological that even
Yeah,
when things are working, you could be aggravated because they're not working enough, or you didn't have enough on. Uh, anyway,
yeah.
it's
It's part of sitting through trades, isn't it? You're sitting
yeah,
there watching the screen, and you want it to keep going your way, and when it doesn't, you get frustrated. But that's all part and parcel of
yeah.
trading, isn't it? Part of the
Instead of
emotions.
saying, yeah, I have a lead.
Yeah,
So anyway, you're
better
a
start
little
scratch.
frustrated with euro. I would say if euro got over 109, that you got to
Yeah,
declare it a bottom, right? I mean, over
yeah,
yesterday's high, that's a weekly, not decent week. Um, but that's
yeah.
about it. I
I
want to
need it.
point. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say I need it. I've got this zone that I've had on my chart for years at 108.30.70. It needs to get through that first. We had a pop yesterday.
Yeah,
And then it failed. We're trying again, but it's just not really getting into it. But get above 108.70, then we need to take out that 109, 109.20, and maybe we're off to the races. But it's doing the opposite now of what it did all since January. All that price action since January, lower lows, lower highs. We're now doing the opposite.
yeah,
So yeah, it's there's a bottom there at 107.
yeah.
We can definitely call it that.
It's a process.
Yeah,
Blake was talking S&P's rocketing to new highs and uh, talked about using S&P strength to add to Apple shorts. I haven't done it yet, but Apple's not doing much. And here's, I think, something that's even more significant. Microsoft, one of the Mag 7, is one of the few that did not make new highs. And we're
yeah,
either putting in a right shoulder up here, Blake, or even if we blow to new highs, it'll be a 3 drive. but I think this is important.
I think it
Uh,
is too.
So anyway, what I said yesterday in my commentary is if you're in stocks that are not performing on a day like this, you need to reassess. It has everything going for it. Record highs in the market, softer dollar, yields are steady, and if it can't perform with these kind of tailwinds, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It-
that's what I have for the week.
that's an important lesson, because you can take the Nvidia thing as, that's a one-off event type thing. Everyone was waiting for it. It's created a lot of waves. It's not yet given anything back. So yeah, you got to look at is that now the blow off the top that everyone's been waiting for? Now that's passed. What's Q1 going to offer us? How are these companies going to fare in Q1? But for the moment, take the indices in general. The S&P isn't stopping. People have been trying to top pick this for the last 250 pips.
Yeah.
It's not stopping. We've just had another break, that 50, 40, 50, 50 level. NAS, you've still got, that's doing there on that chart you're showing, that's doing exactly what the S&P did when it made the 50-50 high, then it made 50-40 high, and then it had the break. Well, the NAS hasn't broken yet, so your pain level, which is right on those highs. You get, 50, 100 pips above that, this is breaking out again. But for the S&P, for now it's not stopping. So we've got to do the same old exercise and look where the tops are going to come in. We want something that's more than 1 day, 2 days lasting, and then short can try again. But they've been wrong for the last 250 pips, and that can be painful.
Yeah, it can be. So, K-Man, how are you today?
Hey Dale, TGIF,
Bill.
everybody.
Yeah, Yen.
I'm all right. Up and down and in the middle. We've got. I was saying this morning. There's a bit of the dollar is getting sold a little bit today. It's moving with the yields really. We printed a bit of a high this morning, and then now it's coming off a little, and dollar yen is following the yields, and then Monday afternoon for you people, evening for us, early morning for the Japanese. We will have the Japanese CPI out. So that should, in theory, be a bit of a mover. But I mean, unless it comes out really far from expectations, it's actually expected to drop back down below their famous 2%. But I still think base case, it's not going to change massively. We're still waiting for the wages, but you know how it goes, the expectations, market repricing of the repricing constantly. So we may see a bit of activity in the yen. Right now, still the same observation. Dollar yen is hanging in the 150s. The crosses are coming back from the highs, but then still very high. And I'm just observing the market right now. I'm trying tiny here and there, and but it's a good market to just sit back a bit and wait to see what the market wants to do with it.
Could that have been it in yields?
Could be. I mean, we've been in the
Look how it diverged up here at 435.
Yeah, okay. The tens is one thing. If they, of course, come off, you're going to see another bit in the equity markets, and likely weigh on stuff like the dollar yen, which is really pinned to the tens. But interesting on the twos is that we have been higher on the yield than where the dot plots show us. So the market is still repricing of the repricing. The pendulum is still swinging, but we are shying away from that level, which in my opinion is a bit logic. Now, I don't know if the dollar really has to react to it, but it looks that this morning it's a bit on the defensive. We've seen bid coming into the antipodians. Cable is bid. Dollar Swiss is offered. All the dollars are offered this morning. It's a bit logic. I'm just wondering what's going to happen next week with those yields, because we've got another, not in the long end, but the
Auction.
short end and the belly. We've got another big treasury issuance program going, and I wouldn't be surprised if the bond sharks are going to make Mrs. Yellen pay for her funding needs.
Her strategy. So, yeah, when I look at TLT, I don't think it's done, but the 10-year TLT, I thought we'd get to about 89. So, you know,
I've got 435, 440 as a level on the US 10s. That's
yeah,
it's definitely a level.
yeah. So I thought we'd get to here. You know, I was looking for equality, like from here, something similar to this from here, give you like 90, 89. So I'm not doing anything new today, and we'll see what next week brings. Blake,
I'm rather with you there. There's only one that I'm still continue to play in, and that's the Rand. Still looking very weak.
I heard someone talking about there could be a default in South Africa.
Wow, yeah, of course.
No?
Yeah, oh yeah, but there could always be, and people are talking about capital flight. But the thing is that their budget on Wednesday, that was the bit of a F.A.C.E there when the market tried to buy Rand on what they on suspicions of something. That was the fake move. But it's also geopolitically not a very good country to be in right now, and
No.
investors will have known that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they're forced to sell gold. Maybe that's what gives gold the last break.
Yeah,
if there is
that's
maybe.
why the market bought Rand as well at first. But because they thought, okay, reducing the deficit with their gold and FX reserve, so they thought that they would do that, but we're not sure that they really need to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I just got to say, K-Man, and I know I haven't been involved in the Rand this week, but above today's highs, and I'm buying it. I don't even really care what's happening at that point. I'm just, it's like that is the level that I just want to be involved. And sometimes you do it, and then the cards fall into place once you're in the trade. You know what I mean? So sometimes price will just lead you down that direction. Hey, Dale, it's Friday, and the markets are at all-time highs, and I don't think it's going to let up. And I want to talk a little bit about the markets, if you don't mind, if I take the screen here.
I gladly surrendered the charts.
I know you and I feel so bad with your migraine that you're dealing with. I really do. So first of all, I want to say the market had a little bit of a hiccup last night because there were some comments. Who's the Fed governor that the comments came in last night? Ryan came in. Wasn't it
There
Williams?
was several of them. Which one? Harker, Cook, Waller. Jefferson.
Waller's comments, and basically, like, I think it pushed back market expectations a little bit. You saw stocks kind of stall in Asia. Look like, okay, well, maybe this is going to be it. But here's the thing. As soon as I got in this morning and I realized markets were really quiet, then this is an S&P and this is an hourly chart. As soon as I realized that the markets were really quiet, I was like, okay, what's going to happen is, this is me waking up about 3 hours ago. I'm like, the market's going to just pick right back up again, because when you sit down and it's at the end of the week, if you're short, you're going to be looking at no pullbacks, and you're going to be like, oh hell, I just have to cover everything right now. I just have to get out and brush it off and scratch it, and just get out of the way. For those people that are waiting for a pullback, they're just not getting it. So the price action today, as we come in, there has been no pullback, and it's just been a consolidation, which leads me to believe there's more of a continuation. Now, I was in a text group last night as I was driving over to an event that I had to do on the other side of town. And a guy that I used to trade with in 1999 in Dallas, he put me on a chain with a couple of people. I think they were like, more, inexperienced traders. And he's like, hey, I wanted to get your opinion for these guys and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, basically, unless we get, a huge 4 or 5% move in an intraday and we see it all reverse, you can't get in the way of this. You just can't.
What's that black line, Blake?
That was
that a
previous
channel?
channel resistance.
Oh, so you have a throw over.
Well,
Right
we
now.
are going over. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I had, one of my dear friends that I've been trading with since the mid 90s. He was like, but the stock market was up 4%, and from the lows, and this is post Nvidia earnings. He's like, doesn't that count? I'm like, no, I mean, because it doesn't. This is yesterday, or this is actually on Thursday. Thursday it was up 4%, from the lows, and that I should go to the NASDAQ because that was what he was looking at. It was up 4%. Doesn't that count? I'm like, no, it doesn't count. It doesn't register on anybody's Richter scale right now that the market's up. It's only up 2%. You got to get the market really, really just all in buying. And I haven't seen that yet. I'm sorry. If you want to blow off top, we gotta really, accelerate things. And I would be looking for literally, even though we're almost completing this flag pattern, I would be looking for like a, 8%, 5% move intraday, just getting something that where, you're like, when bids or offers start to disappear in the market, and they will, you'll see the lights flicker. You'll see offers just go, 100 basis points, 200 basis points out of the money because they don't want to take delivery of any sales. When you start to see that happen, that's when you're getting close to a top. But right now, we're just grinding higher, and it's just punishing anybody standing in the way. I've been watching people do it for the last, months, and Ryan, you had some great conversations in our chat room yesterday, and I'd like you to voice them here because I think they're very important for people to hear, and it's really important to understand that it comes from a place of, as you said it well yesterday in the chat room. In our ForexAnalytix chat room, if you guys, are not in here, you can go through and read his long commentary yesterday. It's not a holier than thou, because we're not. We're all in the same boat. We're all traders. We're, some of us just happen to have a little bit more experience than others. Some of us maybe a quarter century more experience than others. But Ryan, please take a moment and talk to everybody listening in about what you had to say yesterday. Because I think
it was just I came in to see what was going on in the markets, doing the option stuff and all that sort of thing, and
that's because that and I just need to clarify here, because you live in the UK, tends to be around noontime Eastern, where you're checking out. We got all of us North American traders in. You spending time with your family, you're with your kids and your wife, and then you come back to do some work at the end of the day in our community. So I just want to kind of preface so everybody understands what your timeline is.
roughly 9-10 p.m. my time. I come back and knock up the options and stuff. But I was just reading some of the comments. Some people getting frustrated with these rock jumps in stocks and indices and whatever. And it's you don't want to come across as Mr. Know-it-all and telling people what they should be doing, but just to offer some guide. It's sometimes easier for people to look through the window and give advice to other people than it is to see that advice when you're in that situation, if you know what I mean. We all go offside, we all have dodgy trades, and sometimes you need another voice, which is what Coach does well, which is what you do well and everyone else does well. You need that other voice to say, hey, hang on, have a look at what you're doing, or have a look at the situation. Detach yourself from your trade and look at the situation and try and understand what's going on, and then jump back into your own self and apply that to what you're doing with your trading. The example was, S&P keeps going higher. You know, people are offside. Why does it keep going higher? The clear point where you knew you were wrong was when it broke 50-50. You know, people don't need to be 80 pips, 60 pips, 50 pips offside and thinking, right, am I wrong now? It's having that detachment, looking at markets and saying, right, this is where I know I should have been wrong. And if I wasn't wrong there, why wasn't I wrong there? And why didn't I adjust my trading at that point? And it's, you know, I posted those comments, hopefully just to allow people to take a step away from what they were doing in trading, have a look, be objective, and then try and make the best decision from that point onwards, rather than, you know, keep finding themselves offside and not knowing what to do, and trying to push the market or push the trades where you shouldn't be pushing, if you get my meaning.
And it's trading, human trading nature to fade big moves. I mean, that's just, you know, everybody is a reversion to the mean type of trader. That's just how we're hardwired. You know, and because your thought process is, if I didn't get long, oh shit, I'm bummed out. I'm missing this whole move. I can make money to go in the other direction. So now it's overbought, so I'm just going to trade the other direction. But that isn't always the answer. And now, go ahead.
One of the guys said exactly that. He said it's gone up too much that I can't buy it, but I don't trust that I can sell it. You know, and just knowing that, fine. Then what you do is you don't trade. You sit back and you say, right, I don't know what this market's doing. I'm going to let the market do what it needs to do. Let it produce the levels that I will then be able to trade. Like right now, would I short it up here? No. The only thing I'd do is maybe do a very tight trade against this 51 level, because that's where this resistance is. But you might be limited to 50-80. So right here and now in S&P, look at a 15-minute chart or a 10-minute chart, whatever. You're limited. Your playing area is 5100 and 50-80. That's the only levels you've got to trade right now.
Right,
and that's very short term. So if it breaks 51, it's probably going to 51.50. If it breaks 50-80, it's probably going to 50-50 again. You know, that sort of thing. So if you want to short up here, realize that you're trading a few hours old market and a few hours old levels. You're not trading what we had at 49. You're not trading what we had at 48, where big levels broke, retested sometime after. The levels developed. That's what you've got to wait for. So here, you want to scalp around, fine. Keep it small, keep it tight. Don't get offside by 20, 30 ticks when you only need to have a 5, 10 tick stop, something like that.
Right. And reversals start with just a few ticks, and it just starts with one lower low. And you don't know where that's going to be, but let it make a lower low. Let the market show you and prove to you it's ready to reverse below 50-80. You can see this dotted line, dashed line right there. Let it break and then take a stab at it and put in a tight stop and inch your way in going the other direction, versus like, oh, look, you know, oh, it's, you know, hitting new highs, I'm going to short it.
Can you zoom out on that chart just a little bit? Bring in when we first hit 50-50 as a high.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, because this is what I showed in the room, right? So we're in a similar situation. When we got to that first 50-50 high, okay, it was a fresh high. No one knows what to do with it. Then we got the CPI stuff and whatever, and we had that dump down, which dumped down to support that had built previously. And then we had to move up to 50-40, and we couldn't hit that 50-50 high again. It's the first one. Yeah. So that's, now you've got, over the period of a week, 2 highs. Okay. Now you've got something to lean on. It doesn't matter whether it breaks, you know where your risk point is. It's 50-50, 50-40. So if you think, and I was saying the same thing, Dale was saying the same thing. If NVIDIA are good, if the earnings are good, but we can't break those highs, I'm thinking about taking more profit, maybe even going short. And I did just that. I took some more profit off at 50-40 because we got back up to that area, that on the right hand side, and right, you know, we would no, the one over, right, that one. We got up there over all the NVIDIA stuff, and it was running into trouble again. So I thought, fine, I'll take some profit off the table. Now, fortunately, we broke up. Okay, so I'm happy. I'm okay. But if it hadn't broken there, then I would have been thinking, you know what? Now we've got a triple top. Now sellers have really got something to get their teeth into. because the price action has told you 3 times we're not going through here. And that's when your shorts can come in and go, right, I'm going to get on this. Again, you don't need to be 50 ticks offside to be wrong. 10, 20 pips at most if it breaks above that 50-50. But if it doesn't, fine, then you're going to get a pullback maybe down to 49.5, maybe even more, because you've got a triple top that's lasted the best part of 3 weeks. That's more than you've had throughout the last 3 weeks.
And if you think that today is the day, that the market's going to turn around and crap the bed like it's like diarrhea crap all over the place, great. Well, let's break a new low first.
Yeah.
And if it breaks a new low here, then you can inch in, take a quarter size position, put in a tight stop. If it gets back into this range, get out, take a very small loss, walk away and say, hey, I'm going to go have a beer. Now, if it breaks through here and then you get so lucky because it is, literally ticker tape diarrhea all over the place and the market is actually pooping the bed, below 50-50 is where you should be adding. And now you have double the size position with your average cost somewhere around here that you can move your stops to break even. And now you're sitting on house money. But until you get that price action, be smart. Be smart.
Exactly.
Keep your stops tight. And if you're gonna fight this market and you're gonna swim upstream like a salmon, you do realize that salmon die when they finally swim upstream.
After they've had sex, of course.
Yes, that's true. But you may or may not do that with yourself in front of your computer. Who knows? Oh, sorry. Did I just say that out loud? I did.
You've gone off tangent, Blake.
But
I know a lot of men that have to swim upstream to get sex.
But here's the thing. It just be smart about trading this tape. It is, if you're gonna trade against it, let's see some lower lows. Don't be the hero. And I will tell you, I've seen a blow off top or a capitulation bottom in I started trading in the first time I sat down at a desk at my own computer, or actually we were yelling out orders. It was very archaic. 1996, November 96. So, in those years, in all these years, I've probably seen a capitulation type of move a half a dozen times. And you'll know it when you see it. You will know it. And we aren't seeing it. I'm telling you right now. The market goes up 7, 8, 10% intraday. And I'm talking like by noon Eastern. And Ryan's about ready to, call it a day in European trade. We're trading up in the indices 10%. Imagine what we're tacking on for market cap in the market. You see something like that and offers start disappearing, you'll know you're at the top. And then you let the market reverse. So,
and the last lesson, because we've been talking about this for a while, we didn't have these levels when we were sub 4,800. We didn't have highs at 50-50, 50-40, 51, 50-96. We didn't have those highs. All that stuff that you've got on your chart now, you have to build because there's no because it's all-time highs. There's no history to it. You can't look back at 1995 and go, oh, there was a weekly top. So this is the exercise for traders. That first 50-50 high, no one knew it was going to be a double top and a potential triple top until the price then started to confirm that. So you build the picture. You're going to be using the tech levels you see here for years to come. They're going to be fib levels. They're going to be trend line levels. They're going to be moving average levels. And here you are right now watching it live, how these levels develop. And if you can get that experience, then you increase your prospects for trading, because now you're trading these levels before their history.
That's right.
I mean, your long side trade, Ryan, buying the breakout at 4,800 wasn't rocket science, and it came back and tested 4,800 and held, I don't know, the day after. And buy a breakout. You bought a breakout.
And you guys know I was saying that for what, 2 weeks before it happened. I'm getting twitchy that this is going to break. I'm getting twitchy it's going to break. I'm going to drop some buy stops. I had to wait 2 weeks before it happened. They don't all work. Sometimes you get a little blow through. 20, 30 pips and reverse, and you get stopped. Well, shit happens. You know, you don't lose an arm over trades like that. But when they go, and then you've got to build on it. You've got to ride it for as much as you can. You know, my theory: don't give up a winning trade. Keep slicing, keep dicing, keep trying to get back in when you can. Add back, and who knows where this goes? It could crap out to 4,700 in the next week or so. It doesn't bother me. I've made my money. If that happens.
You know, and just notice how we're just grinding up towards the highs. I mean, anybody that's short going into the weekend is like, I don't want to be here. I just don't want to be here. And I mean, it's been a big week in the markets. It continues to be a big week. Let's watch price action today. K-Man, you've been kind of quiet, and I know you tend to bow out around these times to go manage your book and everything else. Did you want to add to any of these comments that you've heard?
No, I wouldn't dare it. I would not dare to add anything to that.
Okay. All right. Well, guys,
no, it's all exactly how the trading should be done. Just watch those breaks, watch those levels, and keep it all sensible. And it's a bit useless for right now to piss against the wind because you just get wet. So.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, you know, here's the other side of the trading coin. You know, Kay and all the guys in the flow room nailed that ZAR stuff. You know, here they were looking at the fundamental things, event-driven headlines. They look at the price. They don't agree what the market's done. Experience says let's have a go against that. What the market's doing, selling dollar rand, and they all jumped in, talked about it for an hour, jumped in, picked their prices, and got the rally from it. You know, that's the other side of trading. It's not just about levels; it's about the fundamentals, and that's what we do in our chat room. We look at this stuff all day long.
We do, and I gotta say this. Like you think, and you know, this is not just with the trading, but you think about like the environment that we're in. You know, the Fed has interest rates where they have them. They have a lot of ammo to fight now. Any weakness, any drawdowns, any economic catastrophe that we may face, the Fed
they need to raise rates, home prices at new highs.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
you know,
they may do it, but
that's what Larry Summers is saying.
They've got, well, I mean, shit, Dickie Matthews has been saying it for like literally for months, and he hasn't veered away from that, which look, you know, they may, but what I'm saying is, if you don't believe like what's happening in stocks right now, just remember that the Fed's got a lot of ammunition in an environment where companies, this is different than the .com. Somebody did a parallel of what Cisco looked like in the .com bubble, because Cisco was and is a company that was actually making money back in the 2000s. Kind of like Nvidia, right? In a sense that their charts actually look very similar, actually are eerily similar. But regardless, you know, you look at Nvidia, they're doing some great things. We are not in a .com bubble. Yes, do we have Bitcoin around that? Who knows what the hell, why people continue to buy that? You know, like that's, you know, or some of these crypto companies, because are they making money? I don't know. But these companies, there are a lot of these tech companies, they are making gobs of money. And these Magnificent Seven companies are really rocking it, you know, and the Fed's got a lot of room to maneuver here. So,
you know, the best place where you can learn what the Fed are doing and what all the others are doing, in our chat room.
Yep.
You know, I want to comment to that, Ryan. So everyone knows I'm, 200 years old, and I've had a pretty long career in this business. And besides being on the trading floor when I was very young, a couple hundred years ago, when they had open outcry, this is the best group, knowledgeable people, team that I've ever worked with.
Agreed. I agree with that. The same.
I appreciate that.
Dale.
Yeah, and you were part of that team, Dale. So thank you.
You get as much out as you put in, Dale, and that's the same for me. I like communities because I get out of it from our trading. It's selfish for me. I get good output from it.
You don't give without getting, or get without giving. So, yeah. Anyway, really, um, I got better being around you guys, and even better being around, since the addition of UNK. So it's the best team, and that let alone, you know, people we don't hear from every day that are, you know, talented as well, like Greg and Andre, and I mean, really it is a dream team.
Well, really
So
appreciate you, Dale. And I know it's Friday. I know your head hurts. I just wanted to give, people some, something to chew on as we head into this weekend with markets at all-time highs. I mean, just be careful out there. I know I've said this for weeks, but you get on the train or you get out of the way. You got two options here,
Charles Northheimer said a very important thing too. He said, in environments like this, if you want to be short, you short the stuff that's not performing, like Tesla, like Apple, maybe Microsoft now. So, you don't have to short Nvidia.
No, keep an eye
You
on
could have been
Apple.
short the miners. You could have been
Be
short the
short the
miners
miners.
and cleaned up.
Go short gold. There's plenty to
Yeah,
do. There's
yeah,
plenty to do in this market.
yeah. There's just like Kramer says, there's always a bull market somewhere. Well, you know what? There's always a bear market somewhere. Look at the
Yeah,
solar stocks yesterday. They've been
yeah.
getting annihilated. The EV stocks have been getting annihilated. So it's like American Idol. Your song choice is very important because if the song may not fit your personality or voice. So in our business, it's trade selection. And you have to learn to want to be short the relative weakness and want to be long the relative strength. It's really that simple. When the whole board is red and there's something green, that's your buy candidate. When the whole board is green and something is red, there's your sell candidate. It's not rocket science. I
Yeah.
mean, Investors Business Daily has been talking about relative strength rankings for, 200 years. I used to read it when I was a baby. So, anyway, just think about that. Write it down. What's weak, what's strong, just like currencies. What's
That's
the
why we
strength?
do that's why I do a bias chart. And I've been doing
Yeah,
it since day one, like literally every day since the 90s that I've
yeah,
traded is what's strong, what's weak. If it's strong, I'm going to play it.
yeah,
If it's weak, I'm going to short it. And that's it. It's like it's price action will tell you everything. And that's why I do this every day
yeah.
with our traders
Don't be
because
lazy. Do the
yeah,
work.
you got to do the work.
Got to do it. All right, guys. Well, nice hanging out with you guys again another week. It's a great part of my life that I enjoy, and I hope everyone that's here with us feels the same way. That we add value to what you're trying to accomplish, that you're learning things, and have a great weekend. Don't just count your Nvidias, count your blessings, and the team will be back.
Oh, good one, Dale. Good one.
The team will be
Cheers,
back on.
coach. You're the
Thanks,
Cheers,
master.
coach.
Brian.
Have a good
Cheers,
weekend.
K-Man. See you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.